Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you are well. Now, if you're anything like me and the rest of the planet, you're looking forward to, at some stage, this quarantine, this lockdown ending. Um, and and also, if you're anything like me, you can't bear the thought of it going on all the rest of the spring and the rest of the summer. It doesn't bear thinking about, does it? We can't. We just don't want to focus or consider the opportunity, consider that lockdown might continue indefinitely. That's why all the politicians are saying they're just giving us a couple of weeks at a time, or they're giving us a couple of weeks and a month's notice. They don't want us to. They don't want to frighten us by telling us that this is going to go on forever. So, because it doesn't bear thinking about. So, why doesn't it bear thinking about? Well, it doesn't bear thinking about because when we think about it, we think about how much we're going to miss the family that we're already missing. There's a big clue there as to where our feelings actually come from. Our feelings come from inside us. They come from our thoughts. It doesn't bear thinking about. Doesn't even bear thinking about. Have you ever heard yourself saying that out loud? I know I have, because I used to think that what I did in the world and what was happening in the world determined how I feel, determined how I felt. So about this time of year, going back 12 years ago, I was sat outside on a beautiful sunny day, a bit like today. I'd just been enjoying the first day of my second ski holiday of the season, and my reward to myself for hitting my target was this ski holiday. I thought that hitting that target after going through all sorts of trials and tribulations and turning the business around, I thought that what I achieved was going to make me happy, but it didn't. It didn't stop me worrying about what was going to happen in the future. So what's going on inside our minds determines the way that we feel. That's what I've learned, and also, most of us, most of the time, aren't choosing that. So we wouldn't choose to be scared by the coronavirus, would we? We would just choose to accept it and do everything within our power to keep our family safe, but not be scared about it. We'd choose not to be frustrated about what's going on. We'd choose to relax. So what I've done since back in 2007, so that's 13 years now, is I've learned to choose more of the time. That means that I bounce back from an emotional meltdown faster. And for the last 7 years, I've been helping kids learn to choose more. And the great thing about kids is that they learn to choose really easily, far easier than I ever did. They learn to choose their thoughts, and they learn to choose their thoughts, and they learn through having fun. So this is all based on the truth that our feelings come from our thoughts, like juice comes from fruit. That's why I wear the silly hat, to remind me and to remind you that feelings come from thoughts, like juice comes from fruit. So if we squeeze an orange, we're going to get orange juice. If we squeeze an optimistic orange, we're going to get optimistic orange juice. And if we drink optimistic orange juice, it's going to make us feel, how's it going to make us feel? It's making us going to feel optimistic. And most of the time we're not feeling like that, are we? Most of the time we're not choosing our feelings, or we're not choosing the thoughts that gone into our head, that have got into our head. And most of us also get kind of wound up that, and me especially, you know, I used to get worried about worrying. Well, if you're worried about worrying, then it just piles on the more. You just worry more, don't you? If you're worried, then all that means is a worried watermelon's gone into your head. Or maybe a worried watermelon's kind of got lodged in your head from earlier, you know, from back in the day. You know, you've got some gunk. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. We all have negative feelings, and those negative feelings always come from our negative thoughts. So I'm going to leave that today, because some of you tell me that you want shorter videos. So we're at 6 minutes. Feelings come from thoughts, like juice comes from fruit. And if you're feeling bad, all it means is that a bad blackberry's gone into your head. But the bad blackberry doesn't say anything about you, because you are not the thoughts. You are the thinker of the thoughts. You are the juicer through which the thoughts, the fruity thoughts, are flowing. Have fun. See you soon. Bye-bye.